Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Audit and Administrative Committee meeting tonight for Thursday, May 21st at 6 p.m. I'd like to ask Legislator Regan to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Legislator Regan. I'd like the clerk to call the roll.
Legislator Regan.
Present.
Legislator Russo.
Present.
Chairwoman Crowley.
Present. I'd like to move forward agenda item 3, the acceptance of minutes, January 28th, 2026, for your review.
Second.
Agenda item 4 is a correspondence from the county auditor. We have 4A, which is for your review. I can go over it, the distribution of sales tax, which I like to do, which is, oh gosh, I'm getting old. Bear with me, guys. We have the town of Carmel, which is $221,269. We have the town of Kent, which is $85,013. Town of Patterson, $76,056. Town of Phillipstown, $47,587. Town of Putnam Valley, $77,513. Town of Southeast, $102,476. Village of Brewster, $16,528. And the Village of Cold Spring, $13,088. And the Village of Nelsonville, $4,112. Paid to date, $643,642. Any questions from the committee?
None.
Any questions from any legislators? Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you. I just think it's important to note for the public's purposes and because they don't usually get this or read this, that 2025 compared to 2026, we are down $1,057,221. Is that correct? Right.
Comparing to
If you're comparing the
last
years.
year, but usually the Commissioner of Finance says at the end of the quarter is
It'll-
when they reconcile,
Yeah.
and that's when you really can tell.
Well, we were $1 million over that
Well, thank
last
you,
year.
Legislator Montgomery. I appreciate that, and we will reach out to the new commissioner, but, right, new commissioner?
Yeah, you don't need to. I'd just like to
Just
make a
quarterly.
point of it.
Of course, no worries. Thank you. We're going to move on to 4B, which is going to be the Board in Revenue Report. We are down, down $39,100, just for the FYI for the public. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? Okay. Well, we're still calling on everybody in the audience. We have 2 people there, so we're going to do that. 4C is a transfer revenue report. I would like everybody to look over that. It is in the backup. You can find that online. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from any legislators? Any questions from the public? Okay. And 4D is the contingency, subcontingency report. I'd like everybody to look over that. Again, found in the backup. Right now, in the subtotal for general contingency, we have $777,800. But you can find all the line-by-line items in the backup. Any questions from any committee members?
Nope.
Legislators? Public? Okay, we're going to move on to 5A, which is the approval of the amending of county policy of non-PuMA management, confidential active employee and current retiree health insurance benefits, address and rules and personnel. Do we have any questions from the committee?
Accept your additional.
Oh, I apologize. I'd like to make a motion to accept my additional.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize. Do we have any questions from the committee?
Is there any red line difference between the additional we accepted?
Yes.
To read this?
Second page,
This day?
but it's confidential.
Okay.
Are you all set? Anybody? Okay, any legislators? Legislator Montgomery?
We did discuss in detail the definitions in B. We're allowed to discuss
Yeah,
this?
just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a suggestion for definitions B, New York or any of its political subdivisions excluding the county, school districts, or that amount of time such employee has accrued as a full-time active member of the United States Armed Forces or any combination of.
So does that, Legislator Montgomery, I know what you're discussing. So armed forces, but it doesn't specify United States government as well. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
I'm going to call on legal counsel.
We, at our last,
I know,
oh, are you ready?
yes, yeah.
Hi, Kate.
At our last meeting, we had brought up that we wanted to do, and I don't mean to take over for Legislator Montgomery. We had brought up not only armed forces, but it was United States government as well that we wanted to add in there.
Not at this time, but I'll refer back to Heather.
Okay, so then we're going to have to,
I know that this came up after that meeting, and Heather was in conversation with the DA and with the personnel director on that specific wording, and so I think this is what they all agreed upon, not to be in conflict. So we can reach out to Heather to try to get an answer from her before the fall, but I
Yeah.
know this was a point of.
I am comfortable with the language.
so you're comfortable with the language where that would cover, so I'm gonna recuse myself from this vote, but I am gonna ask, or I'm gonna let Legislator Montgomery ask this question.
How would this cover someone who worked for the federal government? I don't understand that the language covers that. If you can point out to me where this would cover somewhere, or any of its, New York or any of its political subdivisions or school districts, or that amount.
I'm actually gonna step away during this discussion, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
Sure.
I'm gonna step away during this discussion, and if you could just call me back in, I'm gonna can I appoint Legislator Russo as chair for this item, please? And call me back in after this? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm doing the right thing here. Transparency and integrity.
Just for the record, Legislator Montgomery, I have to defer to Heather.
Yeah,
She's
that's fine.
Legislative counsel.
Yeah, I'll,
I can go back and do research and get back to you tomorrow.
no, and I can,
It's, I'm covering,
yeah. Is she back before June?
but I can do it.
Okay, great.
I just need to get back and
Yeah.
take a little
I
more
did-
time.
what- did-
I don't want to give you an answer.
I don't expect you to. But I think, just so you understand what we were discussing in committee, and it was suggested that how do we incorporate those that work for any government, this.
Like a park ranger. You federal
A park ranger, yeah, park
federal park rangers,
park steward, somebody who
IRS.
works for a congressional office.
Right, no, I
Yeah.
understand. So why don't we agree to maybe
Yeah.
I can speak tomorrow?
Sure, that's great. You can email me if there's any language we can come up with that covers that.
We can work together.
And we just need it by June, the June full.
Yeah, I'll take care
No,
of it.
I mean, well, one quick item, through the chair, Chair Russo. This is not a local law, so the good thing is we don't have to have it in our boxes 10 days before June 2nd,
Great.
which is good.
So we have time.
So to the extent any changes might need to be made, this did come out of, in concept, I think, personnel as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already been quote-unquote pre-filed, so I'm not the parliamentarian here, so no action, I wouldn't believe has to be taken by this committee tonight, because I think it was passed out in concept to Legislator Montgomery's point, and to the extent, it just needs to be tightened up with respect to federal government employee, including, of course, U.S. Armed Forces or park ranger
Mhm.
or IRS agent or anything like that. So just my 2 cents. That's all.
And I just would like input, some confirmation that that's your recollection of our conversation in committee was that we were going to suggest that language? Did my colleagues?
I agree.
Okay.
I recall that conversation.
And I don't know that this new language reflects that, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't, right? Okay.
It doesn't. No,
I like to
it says-
just be in check here, that
No,
I'm,
you're-
I'm on the right.
It does talk about federal employees, but only those in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Yeah.
Or any combination thereof might mean,
I think it probably means.
Combo of
Combo
state.
of state employees or subdivisions in U.S. Armed
Yeah,
Forces.
the things that they've identified
but it's,
previously
right,
in that paragraph.
it's a little vague.
Nancy, on behalf of the legal department, we can work out the language.
Great.
You can explain to me all of these conflicting, I haven't had time.
Yeah, no, I don't expect,
So why don't we plan to meet tomorrow?
sure,
By phone?
great, thank you.
Chairman Birmingham, just to remind you, you did assign this to Rules, Personnel, and Audit.
Okay. But it did come out of one of those first two
It came
committees.
out of Rules first, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
Personnel passed it with the amendments from Rules, and now
Did it go to audit?
Well,
Through
this
the
is
chair?
This is
Oh,
all.
duh.
So I didn't know
Yeah,
if it had to be taken or not.
No, no.
Where am I?
If anything is pre-filed out of one committee, as long as it's not shot down in another committee, it could go to the full
Okay.
legislature.
Yeah,
And it could even be amended, since it's not a local law, we could even amend it on the floor on June 2nd,
Okay.
if we wanted to, so. But if it was a local law, we couldn't do that.
or maybe there was a discussion and a reason why it's not in there after,
Yeah.
so, okay, great, thank you, thank you.
So can I make a motion to approve it?
You could
With-
make a motion to approve it as is, and then we could just amend it on the floor. Since it's not
On the
local
second,
law.
okay.
And we could even have it ready on.
I think that's a good idea, Laura, because it seemed imperative that progress be made with this
Yeah.
topic. We're dire need of hiring some people, and it seems like everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
We would add it at the full, whatever's needed,
Yeah.
right?
So I'll make a motion, he can second, or
Second,
if you want. All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
We're all set.
Thank you.
Anybody object to putting air conditioning?
Not at all.
You object to it?
You want to open windows?
Yeah. Is that cool? Literally? Is that cool? I played two parts? So we moved on from 5, okay.
Do I have to hand you back the chair?
Oh, you're good.
Oh. Yeah, we don't have to make a motion? No motion?
No,
Did-
'cause you don't think so.
It's pre-filed.
Okay.
You're on to the next.
Okay, we're going to do approval of agenda item number 6, correction of real property taxes, Town of Carmel, tax map 55-2-24.6. I believe this is, oh, Trish is here. Oh, I'd like to welcome Trish McLaughlin, our Commissioner of Real Property Taxes. Thank you for being here. Pleasure.
Trish, how are you?
I'm used to coming here now lately. So yes, we had, what, 4 corrections? The first one, number 6, is Town of Carmel, and what happened was the prior assessor had billed Goldwetter's home parcel from the condominium properties that he has, put a sewer charge on the home parcel's bill, and it shouldn't have been on there. So he had to correct that, and that's the first one that you'll see.
So that's number 6. So let's go one, we got to go through each one because we have to vote on each one.
Okay, so that's,
Okay.
all right.
So any questions from the committee? Any questions from the legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to move this. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item 7 is an approval of the correction of real property taxes, Town of Putnam Valley, tax map 999-99-154 dot dash 1.
That's true.
Dot dash 1.
Make these numbers up.
Okay, but, yep, I'm going to read it as is.
So this is basically Cablevision. The next 3 are gonna be this, but I know we have to do them one at a time. All the same situation. They pay a special franchise fee for laying their cables on public access properties. So they pay a special franchise fee, and in turn, they're supposed to get a reduction on their, so basically, they don't have to pay their town portion of a county town tax. So, for whatever reason, it didn't get checked right in RPS system, and they got taxed. So the person who did the billing for Cablevision and was paying these bills caught it and decided to do their own, deduction. Yeah, and paid to the county what should have been paid. So then what we did is we had them pay it to Finance Department as a partial payment, because technically more was still owed at that point, because it was an incorrect bill. So they put it through as a partial payment, and then now once we put this correction through, and it gets approved, and it gets readjusted in RPS, they'll owe nothing, so it'll be all correct. So that is this one.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Legislator Regan.
Thank you, Chairman.
Can you just clarify that first portion again in terms of, so Cablevision is obligated to pay a county tax but not a town tax?
Well, what it is it's a
That's fine.
franchise fee. So basically what it is, you'll see in.
Is he okay?
They add the little kind of, pursuant to local franchise agreement between Altice and your municipality, Altice pays a fee for a special franchise to place its cable television facilities in the public right-of-way. New York Real Property Law 626 provides that the amount paid as a franchise fee is to be deducted from the taxes, from the tax levied on a special franchise. And that ends up being, because I looked at it, and when I looked at the tax bill and what the difference was that they overpaid, was actually the town tax portion on the bill.
Gotcha.
So it looks like that's sort of the way it works.
Thank you.
Any questions from any other committee members? Legislators?
I have
Legislator
another question.
Montgomery?
I just have a question on that. So that must have been worked out in the contract that they established with the county or the
It's been
town.
long running, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
long running thing with all the towns. All the towns have special franchises.
Yeah, so that can be renegotiated too. It's
Probably.
because we only have one franchise. and they
Yeah,
seem-
no, I mean,
Well, in my
they
Well,
town.
know that, I'm sure.
Depends. It depends, like with, this is Cablevision, so where we are, we have three, in Mayapack in my district, we have Comcast, Satellite TV, and we have Verizon. So it depends. It's not like NYSEG is, and what do you guys have over there, for electric?
We only have Cablevision. We
No,
don't-
for electric I'm talking about.
But I'm referring to my district. We just have, we've only had one franchise because FiOS never came in, and maybe they will now. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Any questions from the public?
town's problem.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to move this. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval for agenda item 8, correction of real property taxes, Town of Putnam Valley, tax map 999.-99-154.-3.
This again is in Putnam Valley, but it's in, the first one was in Put Valley School District. This one is in Lakeland School District, still Town of Putnam Valley, same scenario. So they got charged, and they shouldn't have been charged for the special franchise fee. So they kind of refunded it to themselves by only paying the amount that they were supposed to pay, and that will get corrected once we correct it.
They really should be charged both. It's ridiculous.
Okay, any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to move. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have agenda item 9. Approval correction of real property taxes, Town of Putnam Valley, tax map 999.99-154.-4.
Same scenario, but this time it's in the Mayapack Central School District of Putt Valley. Same scenario. So they have it.
They
in
charge the
three
school
different
district?
districts.
Okay, yeah. Okay, any questions from the committee?
Mm.
Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to move. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is an FYI. Agenda item 10 is correspondence from the Commissioner of Finance. This is an FYI on the overtime report. He is not here, so I would like everybody to take a look at it. It's in the backup online as well. Anybody from the committee want to comment?
Nope.
Anybody from the legislature want to comment? From the public? Oh, no, it's just an FYI, so we're good. We have 10B, which is an approval of a budgetary amendment 26A030, Sheriff's Office receipt of grant funds from Putnam Northern Westchester Women's Resource Center. This was reviewed and protective. The fiscal impact for 2026 is actually, we're getting money, so it'll be $27,800 in a grant. This was adopted reflecting the rent being funded by a general taxation since the grant outcome was uncertain. These funds are being replaced by grant funds. So this is for the Special Victims Unit facility. Any questions from the committee?
Nope.
Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 10C is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A031 DPW repair damage from accident, also reviewed in physical. This is DPW road and bridges insurance recoveries, and there is zero fiscal impact. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
10D is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A032, Sheriff Repair 2 Automobiles and Patrol Fleet, also reviewed and protective. This was insurance recoveries, zero fiscal impact. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10E is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A033, Senior Resources, Repair Automobile Damage and Accident. This was reviewed in health. This is insurance recoveries in the amount of $3,170.57, zero fiscal impact. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 10F, approval budgetary amendment 26A035, Finance Fund Snow and Ice Deficit. This was reviewed in physical. The fiscal impact in 2026 is $350,000, nothing in 2027. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh. Did I call for a second on that? I did, okay, just making sure. Sorry. 10G is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A036, Sheriff, record remaining expenditure of revenues related to Byrne State Crisis Intervention Programming, also reviewed and protective. There is zero fiscal impact in 26 or 27, and the amount that we're looking at is $564,727. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from any legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
10H is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A037, Finance Receipt of a SIG grant, State Interoperable Communications Grant, Formula Grant, also reviewed and protective, for the amount of $422,645. There is zero fiscal impact. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from any legislators? Any questions from the public? I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10I is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A038, Emergency Services Fund, New York State Emergency Services IP Network Readiness Grant, reviewed and protective. This is in the amount of $689,655, zero fiscal impact in 26 and 27. This resolution is required to adjust the capital budget in the Fund of New York State Emergency Services IP Network Readiness Grant as per the attached letter. Do we have any questions from the committee? Legislators? Public? Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
10J, approval of budgetary amendment 26A039, DSS, record 2627, New York State Rental Supplemental Program Award, also reviewed in health, in the amount of $100,000 with zero fiscal impact. This is necessary to record the 2627 New York State Rental Supplement Program. Do we have any questions from the committee? Legislators? Public? I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10K is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A041, DSS, adjustmental health state aid levels, also reviewed in health. This is zero fiscal impact. This resolution is to adjust mental health state aid levels as per the attached request for, I believe, $524. Yep, $524. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? Like a motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. 10L is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A042, DSS adjustmental health state aid levels, also reviewed in health. This is for mental health state aid levels for OASIS. In the amount of $142,073, sorry, zero fiscal impact. Does anybody on the committee have any questions? Legislators? Public? Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10M is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A043, vacancy control factor, also reviewed in personnel. At the request of Commissioner of Finance, there are several budgetary transfers that are required. There is a zero fiscal impact, and it is required to, to control the vacancy factor in 2026. Do we have any questions from the committee? Legislators? Public? Make a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Thank you. Do we all in favor?
Aye.
10N is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A044, emergency services account for insurance proceeds maintenance facility at the golf course, also reviewed in physical. This is in the amount of $54,474, zero fiscal impact. It's required to account for insurance proceeds to use for site cleanup of the maintenance facility at the Putnam County Golf Course destroyed by the fire. Do we have any questions from the committee? Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
10O is the approval of budgetary amendment 26A045, DPW to fund the jail HVAC improvements, also reviewed in physical, in the amount of $200,000, and there is zero fiscal impact. Do we have any comments from the committee?
No.
Any questions from legislators? Any questions from the public? I'd like to move this. Do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Agenda item 11 is the approval of fund transfer 26T110, Emergency Services Development of Continuity of Operations Plan, also reviewed and protective. In the amount of $20,000, there is zero fiscal impact. This budgetary transfer will provide funding for the development of Continuity of Operations Plan, also known as a COOP plan, as per the attached correspondence, which was discussed, like we said, in protective. Any questions from the committee? Legislators?
I have a question.
Legislator
I mean,
Montgomery.
I think we discussed this at length. It did unfortunately pass out of committee, and it's now at the audit committee. Has anybody inquired what our procurement policy is and what we're required to do as far as awarding contracts and bids? Did this go out to bid? Were there 3, and are we required to?
Legislator Regan.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I asked those very questions of John Tully, and we conversed, and he told me it is in the affirmative and sent it to, I believe, all of us in writing. I'll double check.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so I had the same thought process, but it would appear that our original thinking was, ooh, this is not going to fly. It didn't follow the RFP process, but it's going to fall well under the blanket of the existing RFP process, which has like an umbrella of either 75,000 or 50,000, and this 20 will fall well under that scenario, according to Councilor Tully,
Commissioner.
Commissioner Tully.
Okay, any questions?
So it was communicated to us that the bid was awarded, or the bid was considered, it wasn't a bid, actually, it was just a conversation. We didn't even have, I don't know what the initiative was. We weren't even seeking this. Whose initiative was it to go and seek out the COOP plan? Or did this contractor approach us and say, let me do your COOP plan for you? And met someone at a fundraiser, a political fundraiser.
Legislator
and-
Montgomery.
What?
I'm gonna stop you there. So this COOP plan we've discussed, we've discussed this in length at several meetings before and last year, okay? We're talking about the fact that this is also somebody that we've contracted for during FEMA, that has helped every single town during IDA, and we have used them before. So even for a political fundraiser that we're bringing up, this company has come in before and helped us. So this is a COOP plan that was unfortunately not well conversed to us, I believe, last year. And now this year it passed through committee. And Legislator Regan, who is the chair of Protective, reached out to get the answers. And it seems like we got the answers that were requested, and we are in the
To my
negative.
satisfaction,
Yep, to
yep.
your satisfaction. So I would like to call the question unless Legislator Birmingham.
I do. I would just like to, 2 things. One item I did bring up at the Protective Committee meeting. I just have never been in a position where we've actually apparently procured the professional service before we actually fund the line. It's kind of a chicken and the egg thing. So in that sense, this is, in my experience, quite unusual. And also, I'd like to draw the committee's attention, and also my colleagues' attention, to our very county code, Chapter 22, which has been in the county code for quite a while, and it's something called continuity of government. This is a part of our county code that we have that talks about designation and status of interim emergency successors, assumption of powers and duties of officers by emergency interim successor, recording and publication of designations, qualifications for taking office, and quorum vote requirements. And again, this was not brought up by me at the last committee meeting, so I don't want to be unfair and say that nobody talked about this at the Protective Services Committee. I certainly didn't know about this at the time, so I'm not casting any sort of lack of disclosure on anybody's part, because it was because of that meeting I started digging into this. So I'm not pretending that Chapter 22 is comprehensive as this portends to be, but we already have something here that's been on the books for upwards of 60 years in our county code, well before this county legislature. It's my hope, at this moment, I'm going to be voting against this when it comes to the full vote on June 2nd, but to the extent, if it does pass, I would hope that at least some recognition would be given to the fact that we have had this on the books for many years, and this may be different from that, but it didn't sound all that different to me at the committee meeting last week. So those are just some of my thoughts, and obviously I don't have a vote here tonight, but I just wanted to bring that to my colleagues' attention. Thank you.
You do realize that we use this company again during IDA, and they were afforded to most of the municipalities through the county Meridian Strategies helped a lot of the municipalities through the county get their FEMA dollars once the governor declared the state of emergency.
Right.
So that is who did a lot of the writing of, especially in Legislator Montgomery's district, where they had a severe flooding issue with the, I don't want to
Does,
Streamer River, where it ran down through Putnam Valley and destroyed a ton of homes, and that company came in and helped a lot. So that was well before then, so I'm gonna
I
ask.
just wanted to respond to that. My comments here are not to cast aspersions on the professionalism of this organization, but I would note, to the extent there were emergency and exigent circumstances during those emergencies, I don't know the procurement process that they were hired under. I'm sure they were, knowing John Tully and knowing our Department of DGS, they were hired very professionally and by the book, and I'm sure this is by the book according to what Tommy just said, but I think we can't compare emergency needs and a truncated procurement process to something, again, where we have the vendor coming before us before we even have appropriated the money. It's a little different, but thank you. I'll be quiet now. Thank you.
I hear what you're saying. I also want to comment there that, you know, they came before us last year as well. They've spoken to us. It wasn't, the vendor was not here last year. It was the previous Commissioner of Emergency Services that brought this forward because the COOP plan has been used throughout most of the counties that surround us, Dutchess, Orange, Rockland, and honestly, this is the company that they use. And the savings I've looked up personally, I think I've brought them to the attention of the public during meetings, through different, Dutchess has done remarkable things with using the COOP plan and Meridian strategies to start them off. I don't know how in-depth they are with them. I do understand the chicken before the egg, or cart before the horse, but I'm going to refer to Legislative Counsel on this one.
Again, I defer to Heather, and I'd like to do a little research.
Okay, so we can do that. So if we move it forward tonight, it can be done at the full. So that can be done. So you'll make sure that Heather is in receipt of all of these questions tonight and that she can have a response by the full?
Yes.
Okay, Legislator Regan?
Thank you, Chairwoman. If I may, through the chair, to possibly assuage some concerns, because my antenna was also up, as expressed, I think, by some of my colleagues. And for the procurement part, we had learned that there's such thing as piggybacking when other counties are involved, whereas this particular contract of procurement is falling with not even us piggybacking on another county, that we're following the process of Putnam County's procurement policy with this number being so low. And with the extensive questioning that we had when the vendor was here, and I can't speak for the vendor, but what the feeling that I got, the answers to my inquiries, is that this was going to go well beyond the structural settings that you would refer to already in there, encasing almost every department that's probably not accounted for in our guidelines. And when I continue to ask questions and I consider the numeric involved, it seemed to make sense. It seems to be a very low figure, and he is promising a great output. It seemed to be worth the risk, the more questions that I asked. My antenna were raised in a similar fashion, but I would say after a number of discussions and questions that night, I was very satisfied with the answers. Thank you.
And I also agree with you. I did, like I said, I called around different counties and I asked, like, what departments do you work in? Dutchess is a prime one. They're a massive county. They're very big. They have a COOP plan in every single department because it continues to save money. From grants to different aspects of it. I encourage you to look into it, make a phone call to the county executive or Bill Beal, the commissioner over there. I encourage everybody to look into it, see how big it's grown and how well they've done and how prepared they are for something if it could go wrong in so many different ways. And that's really where it comes down to. We're at a pivot point where we haven't had this plan or haven't been up to date. We can look at Nassau County when they had a cyber attack years back. This covers all of those things. And we have a great IT commissioner. I just think that for $20,000 versus what we could lose I just don't see how the numbers add up there. And again, we've used this company before in emergencies, and they've come through and helped us. So I stand by them. Legislator Montgomery, I'm going to allow you to ask a question or a comment, and then we're going to call the question.
Oh, thank you for allowing me that. I appreciate it.
Legislator Montgomery, I'm going to ask you to be in
so
order, please, if you're going to speak.
My comments were not in regard to the specifics of the vendor. I was quite off-put at the committee meeting, the Protective Services Committee meeting, not having received notification prior to the meeting that a vendor would be coming and we would be presented with that. I believe that's a pattern of being ambushed by the administration with people, you know, just attending meetings that we're not aware of ahead of time, and that's unfortunate. So, you know, no disrespect to the vendor who is here. This is about the way we're going about procuring this. And I'll probably be voting against it, Joe, because of that reason.
And that vendor, I think, was here, and I don't know, I'm assuming, so we're going to put that on the record. Because last year, when it was presented to us, I think Legislator Yonke did make a comment to me and said, Legislator Crowley, would you like to present on this? Because I do know what a COOP plan is, and I'm very aware of what it can do. I have the floor, please. Thank you.
The
I have
committee
the floor,
should be,
please.
I know you love to hear yourself speak, but the committee should be made aware of when somebody's coming.
I'm going to ask you to please keep yourself in order. Have some decorum. I'm going to call the question. Do we have a second on agenda item 11?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 12, approval of capital transfer 26T124 DPW, funds transfer to 22CP01 and 23CP17, capital project reviewed and physical. This is in the amount of $100,000 for minor renovations. This was discussed, and it's two projects, zero fiscal impact in 26 and 27, for worn floors in county facilities and, programmatic repairs. This is for Putnam Valley Senior Center, Department of Social Services, County Office Buildings, Law Department, Bureau of Emergency Services. Do we have any questions from the committee? Legislators? Public? I'm going to ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Agenda item 13, approval, proposed resolution for Commissioner of Finance Carlin, fixed asset financial statement reporting and tracking. Well, he is not here on this, so the resolution proposes to raise capitalization and depreciation of, let me read the entire memo. Please find the enclosed a proposed resolution amending the fixed asset capitalization and reporting amounts adopted in 2002 to reflect current costs. This resolution proposes a raise capitalization and depreciation of vehicles, machinery, and equipment from $5,000 and over $25,000 and over for financial statement reporting purposes. This resolution will also raise the county fixed asset tracking and control floor from $1,000 to $5,000. The proposed recommendation changes in consultation with independent auditor are enclosed by the Department of General Services and the county auditor and will improve operating efficiency. We have a letter back and forth between myself, a memo from Bill Carlin from Legislator Birmingham, which I can read into the record if anybody would like. Any questions from committee? Legislator Regan.
Would Michelle weigh in on this at all,
Yeah.
please?
It's really, just as the memo says, increasing the limits. It's more, I guess, work on the departments. We're just trying to increase the limits when we did this way back when.
Michelle, do you want to come up to the microphone and hit the button so people can hear you? Sorry.
No. When this was proposed in many years ago, I believe the county, we did know that it was very low, the figures for the inventory of fixed assets. So now we're just trying.
You're so quiet.
So we're just now trying to increase the limits for purchasing a computer. Now, in instead of recording $1,000, we'll be keeping 5,000. So it's, what's the word? I'm trying to, yeah,
Efficient?
yes, more efficient.
Legislator
that's the
Birmingham?
word.
Yeah, this, as Michelle was saying, you know, the threshold of $1,000 has been around for a long time, and things have gotten, particularly in the tech, well, actually, not all in the technologies. We can buy a 70-inch screen TV for a lot cheaper than we could 20 years ago today, but there's a lot of things that have increased. And also, this would track with our budget process as well. For those of us, I know, Tommy, you weren't around for the last, well, you were here, but you weren't voting on last year's budget. If you know, in our equipment line, in our budget, there's two lines. One is for equipment over 5,000, and one is for equipment under 5,000. This would kind of tee up with that as far as our fixed assets accounting. You know, this is not the right example, but we shouldn't have to have a fixed asset accounting for every pencil or one of these around. I know these are
Every box
much
of
like, yeah, every box of tissues. So it's really just keeping up with the time. I think this is a GASB rule that came in about 25 years ago that required us to track fixed assets, and we could set it whatever we want to. And at the time, $1,000 25 years ago was a reasonable amount, but now 5,000 seems to be the more reasonable one. And again, the reason for that is efficiency, because when our auditors come in, one of the things they test are our fixed assets. And if they're looking around for every box of tissues or a random box of tissues to track, it can get cumbersome and really avoids the real purpose of that kind of audit. So that's.
We'll still be tracking them.
Oh, we'll still be tracking them on our own, but,
Tracking them,
yeah.
But for depreciation purposes.
Right.
It'll be 25,000. Anything over 5 we'll be tracking, getting inventory
Right.
numbers. Departments will know when they're purchasing. Anything under 5,000, like Dan was saying, goes in one line, but it's less bookkeeping. It's more,
So the proposed changes are acceptable to legislative auditor. There you go. All right, that was the question. Thank you.
paper, how's that?
Yeah.
Paper for us.
Any questions from anybody else from the committee? Any questions from any legislators? The public? I'm going to make a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of agenda item 14, rescind resolution 84 of 2026 motor fuels tax adjustment. This is the Audit and Administration Committee has reviewed and approved the rescinding of resolution number 84 of 2026. Therefore resolved that number 84, approved by the full legislature at the April 7th meeting, is hereby rescinded due to the irregularity in the mailing procedure of the resolution. Resolved, the matter is authorized to be presented again in accordance with the applicable statutory procedures and governance requirements. My articulation?
Yeah, that was impressive.
Okay. So this was back when, proposed by Legislator Gouldman and Legislative Council. This was not filed correctly?
I have, if, I don't want to, if you want to go to your committee first, but yeah, it was a technical, based on an arcane provision of the law that requires us to notify the state within a certain, I think it's 90 days before we start the fuel tax adjustment. And it's buried within a 300-section piece of legislation that we just didn't meet that to start it on June 1st. So simply, this one in 14 is to rescind that local law. The next one is to put back in place the same concept, which is great, but it just starts it at a later date in order to meet that statutory notice requirement. And it also extends the end of it by the same amount of time. So the amount of time that we are adjusting the fuel doesn't change. It's just starting a little later and going out a little later by the same amount.
So I'm going to defer to,
Yeah.
hold on, I'm going to defer to Legislative Council. This is the soonest that we can get it done is September 1st. That's it?
Yes.
No sooner? It's unfortunate.
Yep.
Because gas prices, I know I have to, I filled up today, it was $5.69 a gallon. So I know for premium, it's like 5 cents off a gallon, and then it goes to 3 and 2. So
Yeah.
people may feel it, they may not, but it's still something nice, so.
Sure.
It's unfortunate, but I'm glad to see that we'll be moving it forward on the next one. So any questions from the committee? Legislator Regan.
Thank you, Chairwoman. As through the chair, asking the chair and anyone else, any of my colleagues, there was great fanfare in the communication of the initial resolution. Has this change and significant delay been communicated to the residents?
No, but I think what we can do is I can send a memo out to the county executive tomorrow, Diane, if we can have it published on the website to let them know that, there's been a glitch in the filing. We will go through law possibly to have it articulated properly, and, maybe we can put it out to the public that we're looking forward to passing it in the full, in September.
No.
If-
No, in June,
I'm sorry, June, I'm sorry, but it'll take effect September 1st.
yes.
So we'll be passing it in June, but hopefully passing it in June. But
Sure.
it will not take effect until September, so maybe we can make that and then suggest it to the county executive or to have IT put it somewhere so that residents are aware that it's coming their way for a little bit of, relief. Dan?
I'm a the glass is half full kind of guy. Although there might be a delay, and there will be a delay in the implementation of this, we could also say that there's an extension on the other end to say that, it covers the same amount. And I'd even be in
That's
favor.
the Oreo effect.
What's-
That's positive, negative, positive, right?
Indeed, but I would even, and I might make this, well, we can't on the floor because it's a local law, but I would encourage my colleagues on the committee to maybe make the extension of this go out further than the way, well, we're not on 15 yet. I'm sorry, I'll wait till 15.
So I'm going to make any other legislators, I apologize. Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's actually a shame the glitch in the system made this happen because we're going into a time where many people will be driving summertime and it's not going to be able to be, taken advantage of now. It's going to wait, especially when gas is almost $5 a gallon. I guarantee you, I can't guarantee that, but very close to $5 coming soon. And, we'll have to wait till September because of the state law, so.
Okay, well, I do agree, and I would like to see any sort of tax reimbursement to people in this county as soon as possible, but as we've all said, item 15 is the approval of fixing this, and I am going to look at the Oreo, that we're fixing it. There's gonna be a slight delay, but in the end, we're extending it too, so there's an up and a down. So we'll do our best to
Not much we can do about it.
do better and to lobby Albany and as a group to make sure that we get some tax relief for the people of Putnam County moving forward. So I'd like to call on this. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Agenda item 15 is approval of motor fuels sales tax adjustment. This was just discussed, and unfortunately, because of some hiccups in it, we are going to be seeing it, but it's going to be passed. Hopefully, it's going to be proposed at the June full meeting. I have ambitions that it will hopefully be passed, and then the resolution shall take effect September 1st, 2026, and shall expire and deemed repealed on December 31st, 2027. And again, I will say that I spoke to council, and we'll get some verbiage that we're going to hopefully get to the county executive, to IT to put out for the public, and maybe we can do some sort of release letting them know there might be a slight delay, but still, we're working on it, and we hope to see that come back in their pockets, even if it's a small amount.
On behalf of Legislature Council, yes,
Thank you. Legislator Birmingham?
The original, if you take a look at the original local law that was, the committee just rescinded, we don't have a copy of that, and that's fine. The original local law was going to sunset December 31st, 2027, as the same 15 will, as it's written now, sunset on December 31st, 2027. And again, I can't make the motion because I'm not on the committee, but I would ask somebody on the committee to at least extend the sunset out to March 31st, 2028. So again, we get the same amount of time of savings, as opposed to if we say September 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2027, we're cutting off 3 months that we had under the existing local law. So I would suggest we move it out to March 31st, 2028, or perhaps even December 31st, 2028.
So I'm all for it, but I do think that we have new legislators coming in every single year, and they have the ability to continue this every single year, or change it, or amend it, correct?
They would have the ability to put it back to December
Put it back.
31st, 2027, too.
And, yeah, but they could do both. I'm hoping that nobody would want to restrict tax relief from this county. That would be abysmal, so let's hope that wouldn't happen. I would like to take their votes, we're going out to 2027. I think that it sunsets on the 31st. I would like to take their opinions into consideration. I can't see any legislator, regardless, any person on either side of the aisle opposing this, but I would like to take new people's opinions into consideration. Now, this is gonna be voted on at the full. We could amend it at the full too.
No, we can't, because it's a local law.
This isn't a local law.
Oh, it's not a local law?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay,
could amend
all
it at
right.
the full. Could-
Okay.
it can be, I like to always, when we're getting that close to that time when new people are coming in and rotating out, I like to at least, even if they're in favor, I like to allow them to give their opinion on something. And if somebody really is against this, that would be pretty bad. So,
Okay.
Or they might have a reason which, to your logic, they would be able to express at that time.
yeah,
I
and
agree
at
with
that
your
point,
logic.
I just
Maybe there's a
think, you
reason.
know,
Okay.
we had a meeting on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve last year, and, you know, we had a couple two new legislators being sworn in that night. So I don't believe in that. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going to be voting on this tonight.
Okay.
And I think that they should, in good faith, I have high hopes that the people who elect the people, the legislators, future legislators, will elect people with integrity that are gonna protect their assets.
Buckle up for an amendment on the floor, then.
I have no doubt. I'm gonna call the question.
I have a question.
Yep, I'm gonna call the question.
I didn't get to speak on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Come on.
Second.
You
All
always
in favor?
manage to hold the floor, don't you, with
Aye.
not much to say. You can
I
say an
asked for
awful,
public
you
comment
can
last
say,
time,
you can
Legislator
say an
Montgomery.
awful lot without saying anything, can't you?
Legislator Montgomery, have some decorum.
Just a point of order, if I could.
I asked for public comment during last meeting, and I was told no.
No, I'm.
Okay.
This'll be a fun pattern. This is gonna be a fun year.
This is a committee meeting, and we do have in our legislative manual
Yeah,
that,
it wasn't filed at the last meeting,
You made a comment already on that thing at the last meeting.
and you ignored it, so have a good night, Legislator Montgomery. Thank you. We're gonna move on to agenda item 16.
I'm glad you like to cop out of laws you need to pass. It would be nice if you had some integrity to have some legacies. This is for the people. These are things we can extend for the people, which was what the original plan was. The original plan extended it a
You've done
certain amount of
grandstanding,
time.
Legislator
But instead, you
Montgomery.
want to cop out and say, claim it's for the other people. You're in office now. Do something. Do something productive with it.
We are.
I don't think so.
Agenda item 16, FYI on the guardrail and property damage report. We have one that you can review. It's confidential. Please make sure that we shred this. Other business, seeing if there is none, I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a question
Oh,
about
sorry.
the last item. There's no money amount on there, should there be?
Yeah, there is. There is, isn't there? Cost. Cost?
yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, there's a money amount.
I didn't know, me.
It's in the middle.
You got it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. There's a cost.
Yeah, it's where.
Trump's going to be in office until 2028. You can watch the gas prices keep going up while you cop
We're
out.
gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Copping out.
You guys wanna